Hey guys, okay, so here we are trying out the Milani Cream to Powder Foundation. Again, I hauled this the other day and it has been a hot item since it's supposed to be a dupe for the, I think it's KVD Good Apple Foundation or something. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video when I talked about this product, but when I was in my late teens and early 20s, early to mid 20s, I always used a cream to powder foundation. It was the Mary Kay one, and I just have never found anything to replace that. It was a good foundation, offered good coverage, looked really nice and natural on my skin, and I just loved it. Now, you could not build that up. I tried building it up one time, and it was just looking like a cakey, disgusting mess. I don't even know if they still sell it anymore, but I do remember that about it. So I have always been interested in cream to powder foundations because of that, and have been wanting to try this foundation actually for a long time. For a while there, it looked like it was not, they weren't selling it in stores, and it was almost like it was on its way out to being like discontinued or whatever. But it's back on the map, ladies. So here we go. Again, it's cream to powder foundation. So the compact is just your standard compact. Got a little mirror right there. I don't understand why they do this, because then you have to flip back and forth. If you're using this on the go, you have to flip back and forth between, to see if there's a film on there. I don't think there is. Between the mirror and then the product. So why don't you just put the, now I understand why they do that, so that way you can see the shade of the foundation, but have a mirror right there so we can use it. Okay. It comes with a puff. I might use it just for sake of using it, but I personally, and this, for most facial products, I always prefer a brush. There was a cream compact makeup that e.l.f. did, that one worked very well with a sponge. But again, depending on how and where you do your makeup, it's kind of inconvenient if you have to dampen your sponge, which I had to do for that foundation. And for most foundations, if you're going to use a wet sponge or dampened sponge, it's not very convenient if you don't have access to a sink right where you're doing it. But I will say that for the Mary Kay foundation, cream to powder foundation, I never used a damp sponge. I always used the one that was provided, which is very similar to this in texture. And I would just use it just in the compact like that with a dry sponge. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use this, and we'll just we'll do one side, we'll kind of see where we're at, and then we will try it with a brush. One thing I do have a problem with for Milani products is usually they don't have one that's light enough or fair enough for me. So we'll just see. This is the shade Warm Porcelain, which I believe was the lightest shade. So it says Conceal, Perfect, and Smooth Finish Cream to Powder Foundation. Okay, so let's just try it. And it's a cream product, so I'm just gonna get a little bit on there and we'll just see. This little patch of eczema was doing really good, but then this morning it was very like itchy, and so I feel like it's gonna rear its ugly head again, so there might be an issue with that today. All right, so the shade seems okay. It's kind of hard to see today because it is very gray and rainy today, but the shade looks like it would be, yeah, it looks light enough. I'll get you guys a swatch in just a second. Seems to be applying decently with the little sponge provided. I don't feel like it's giving me like this amazing coverage, and then now my skin is looking just amazing. But we'll see. Yeah, it looks fairer on the skin than it does in the pan for sure. Just give you guys a bit of a, oh, but I mean, it's pretty light, so I'm just gonna put a little bit extra around the eye. And that's kind of one of the things about a product like this, is that you can almost kind of use it as a concealer if you don't have like a ton of hyperpigmentation like I do. You can almost use it like a concealer as well. It looks like it's got a natural finish. You can see some light reflecting off my skin, but I mean, if you can tell, my moisturizer makes me very shiny. So let's get a close-up look, shall we? Looks very natural so far. It's catching on this little dry patch right there, but if you exfoliate real well, that might not happen for you. I feel like there is some sort of, there is. There's a film on this mirror. I was like, I can't see very well. There we go. Okay, much better. Okay, so it's looking very natural, really natural. This could be a very good product for someone that needs, or is just looking for natural coverage and also convenience. It doesn't feel like a powder. It still feels very tacky. So I don't know if that claim is very true for cream to powder. But I'm gonna go ahead and use a brush now. This is the AOA Studio High Def Brush F2. And I'm just gonna pick some of the product up and we'll just see. Compact makeup has been around forever, and I guess it just depends on what sort of finish you want, what kind of coverage you're looking for, as to whether, and what kind of convenience you're looking for, as to whether a compact foundation is going to work out for you. Because I just did a ton of compact foundations, all those cushion foundations, highly portable. You know, you can put them in your bag, you can travel easily with them. This doesn't take up much space, but just for comparison, this is a bottle of foundation, this is the compact, like pretty comparable as far as taking up of space. So I'm gonna just, I feel like I'm getting more coverage on this eye, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more on this eyelid. And then I'll check all my problem areas in just a second. I think what I'm liking about this is that it's looking very natural. You're getting a little bit of a glow. It's looking very natural. I guess that's just the biggest thing. And it's kind of reminding me of this. This is the JCat Masterclass Face Effects color palette. And you've got a bunch of different colors here where you can mix and match shades and all that to get your proper color. These two are the closest shade match for me, but if I needed to lighten it, this is really light. But this had a very natural look as well. It doesn't claim to be a cream to powder foundation. And honestly, even though this one is claiming to be a cream to powder, I just don't see it, and I just don't feel it. Like, it's not really turning into a powder. Still very sticky, so I would probably powder this anyway. I would use probably like the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, because it's very finely milled and doesn't look cakey when you use it. It's very natural looking. Let me check my problem areas and I'll just give you guys a rundown. It looks good. Like, my pores are very, very camouflaged while yet still looking very, very natural. And in this lighting, the shade looks spot on, especially for summertime. But this seems fine. It doesn't seem like it's anything revolutionary. Now, I don't know if it is a dupe for the KVD one. I certainly wouldn't spend any more on this. I believe this was somewhere in the neighborhood of $11 to $12. Anything, if it's exactly like this, any product, I wouldn't spend more money on it, because you can get a perfectly nice foundation. This is nice. I'm not over the moon about it, but I'm not mad at it either. And I think I might be a bit more excited about it if I hadn't tried this one first. So I got a really beautiful natural look with this palette. And so this one coming up on the heels of it is just like, oh, well, I already saw that, you know? But if you are looking for a foundation, you don't want a big palette like this. This was really cheap, by the way. This was about $9 or something. And so it's less expensive than this one, but if you want the convenience, then might be an option for you. And again, like as with all foundations, it's all about how convenient is it for you? Will they have the shade to match you? And how's it gonna look on your skin for the whole day? Now, this is my first time trying it. It's a first impression. It seems fine, looks nice. Of course, I'd still powder. I'd still have to do a concealer, all that kind of stuff, but it seems fine. So what I'll do is I will wear it for the rest of the day like I always do, and I will update my thoughts in the description below or in the comments, whichever I get to first, and I will, you know, talk about if it creased, did it start to get real greasy. It does feel kind of sticky and dewy at this point in time. So if you have oily skin, you know, this is a cream product, so it's going to add moisture, and if you're very oily, that may not be the best idea for you. Even though it says cream to powder, it's still feeling sticky and tacky. So the powder part is just not coming to fruition. And it still feels really, really sticky. There's this area right here, it's not as, but it may be just that I just didn't get as much product right there. So I don't know, it's still feeling pretty sticky. So anyway, yeah, so don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.